get out of this vehicle. But let's at this point right now, we don't see police officers right behind them, Colleen, but this is an area maybe we saw them in Commerce trying to figure out exactly where they are, but it could be East LA. And now it does look like they're about to head back on the freeway.
Yeah, and Philip, I think you said it at the beginning of this breaking news. They were wanted for a failure to yield. So that's it seems like a nothing sort of routine police stop. But as we know, many times a routine traffic stop turns into something quite dangerous. And this is certainly proving to be the case. But that white car, it is cooking. It is going so fast, exceeding all the speed limits right there. And it is remarkable. We do not see the CHP yet, but maybe they're in tracking mode as well, Philip.
Well, this started on the 710 in the San Gabriel Valley. It moved on to the 5 freeway. And again, there we've picked it up again. Quickly left the freeway. Doesn't look like there's any damage to the vehicle, but you can notice moving lane to lane. It's come very close to hitting vehicles. We saw him get off the freeway almost as if he was searching for something. We do not know at this point how many people are in the vehicle, but we again are on the 710. Does look like we are going northbound, and as we all know, the 710 is eventually going to run out of room, so we're not sure exactly how far he's going to go before having to exit again. Right. So we're into the San Gabriel Valley, now moving off over into the shoulder, and we're moving up past the 10 there. So trying to avoid some of the congestion. Looked like he was about to get off on the 10 there, but moved over. We don't know if this was a stolen car, if maybe they picked up that as a stolen car. Don't know if it was a traffic stop that they wanted, but we do know that officers tried to pull this vehicle over at some point, and it was a failure to yield that started this pursuit.
Yeah, and a moment ago I said I didn't see CHP. I did end up seeing a CHP motorcycle police officer. So again, we know that law enforcement knows the suspect, where they're located, but again, we're not necessarily seeing CHP in pursuit of this vehicle. And again, they're making remarkable progress on the roads because there was a lot of extra congestion today. Thursday mornings tend to be full of traffic. And look at this.
Now we've gone to the area where he has run out of freeway. So now you're going through an intersection. The 710 has ended. So now he's going to end up in South Pasadena. And this is Surface Street. So we're going to find out if this person is familiar with this part of the area. Looks like our SkyMap 7 has Westmont and Front Street. Ooh. Now we're going down a side street. Could be another situation where we saw a moment ago where he just did a U-turn and then started going into another different direction. And that's exactly what he's gone here again. This is apparently unfamiliar territory for this driver. But this is the kind of dangerous driving you don't want in a neighborhood, driving without familiarity to this space and clearly driving at a speed that is not safe for this part of the area. Going through a stop sign again, and it's as if he's trying to head back to the freeway because that was where he was a moment ago. And maybe he didn't even know that the 710 came to a close. Don't know if he was familiar with that part of town.
No kidding. And you could see right there, Philip, the windows are so heavily tinted. I thought he was going to smack right into those parked cars. The windows are really tinted. So again, we don't know if there's any other occupants in this car. And these drivers, they are completely unaware that this car is being pursued. They just see a car that is cooking, flying. Look at right on the other side of the road, putting so many lives in danger right now.
And he has not even, the one thing that makes this more dangerous is he's driving into oncoming traffic and he's not even slowing down into these intersections. But now here we go. He did do exactly what we thought. He left the freeway just as he's done before, turned around, and now he's getting back. And it looks like he's going to be going southbound on the 710. He left the freeway, drove into that neighborhood, made a U-turn, got back on. But like you mentioned a moment ago, Colleen, no CHP officers that we've seen directly behind him, but he has really been driving recklessly at high rates of speed, even without seeing the officers directly behind him. And that's very troubling when you think about this type of driving.
Well, this is one of those times where you wonder, are they monitoring the media? Are they finding out that they are being actually pursued? Because I would think that usually, Philip, you know, most of the time these people, when they find out that they see nobody chasing them, they ease off on the gas pedal. They drive much more safely. But this driver is going, you can see SkyMap 7 is clocking this driver. I think I just saw 98 miles an hour. So well above the speed limit, putting so many and going onto the shoulder right there. Getting a little squirrely, I think. We're going to, hopefully the person doesn't crash right there, because again, it is very dangerous, high rate of speed. We know the CHP, we know law enforcement are very well aware of this person, but they have not shown up in force behind them to put that extra heat on them.
And again, you know, high rates of speed. I don't know if that miles per hour that you're seeing there on the screen is accurate, but yeah, certainly he's in the neighborhood of 100 miles an hour or so, because you can look at the lack of people on the freeway, and he is just completely moving through. So again, this is southbound, so he'll have some freeway to choose from here. That 710 north clearly ends in South Pasadena, but now that's another move that he has done several times. He will use that off ramp to use as a passing lane almost, and then he'll get back onto the freeway. And he has just gone several lanes of traffic over and back, and he is not showing any signs of concern for any other people on the road. And that is what's making this so dangerous, because if somebody is making just a proper lane change, he'll run up on them. He's coming up on the 5 intersection here. This is a section where many people will take this 710 to, you know, move around traffic that's on the 5, and then they'll get back onto the 5. So that gets really congested there. But it looks like he's going to stay on the 710, and that gets really gummy right in there. So he is just navigating around that. Looks like he'll continue there onto the 710. Can't
really tell if he does know this area very well, because he does stay on the 710. We have seen the suspect. It does look like he's a male in driving. But again, look at that. I mean, I'm amazed that he just crossed over so many lines and went on uneven pavement as well. So this driver, it leads me to believe that this is probably their vehicle, because they are driving it really with the agility, which is incredible.
Well, Bruce Thomas is on the phone with us now, and we can kind of get an idea as to what, as we see his person navigate these lanes recklessly. This is going to be a dangerous spot here, moving through traffic, and you see people being forced into off ramps. So he's leaving the road here. But Bruce, when you see CHP not directly behind him, possibly they might be following this from above. Again, this guy's pulling into traffic, no total disregard. What's CHP going to do when you see this kind of reckless driving and they're just basically monitoring it?
CHP is going to back off. The risk to the public, to the suspect, to the officers is just too great. The speeds are way too high. So by backing off, hopefully that sends a message to the suspect that, hey, I'm not being chased anymore, so I can slow down and I can, just kind of calm down.
Yeah, and Bruce, you kind of called out, and we then got an email update from our news desk saying that the ground units have been called off, and they do have their airship that's obviously tracking this. But again, I think that they have to monitor this really closely, and a lot of decision making goes into whether to employ the ground troops, or, again, trying to see how this cat and mouse game on what's safety to the public, what this person's wanted for. But it was a failure to yield. That was the original want. So doesn't that lead you to believe that, they're obviously wanting to get away for unknown reasons?
Yeah, we have a failure to yield, and my understanding is that it's a possible stolen vehicle. And what's even more dangerous is that the driver inside was possibly doing some sort of narcotics, as they had a view of that. So those are just things that just pile on to make it more difficult for law enforcement.
Well, Bruce, while you're with us, it does look, and most of our viewers are going to realize this as well, that we might have even lost the vehicle. And there are times, as you look at East Washington there, it might be East Los Angeles area that we're in. He was heading southbound on the 710 and kind of went under one of the overpasses. But if we're having a hard time keeping up with him, sometimes the airships are as well. They're flying at a lower altitude than us, so sometimes they can keep up with him. This is earlier that you're seeing there on the right as we try to re-engage. But, the thing I was noticing, Bruce, is that it didn't matter that the officers were right behind him or not right behind him. This person was driving recklessly regardless. So at times, don't you need to engage just to get this kind of person off the roadway?
That's correct. I mean, that's one of the things that they weighed, the safety to get this person, as you said, off the roadway for the safety of everybody, the general public. However, also they have to weigh what's the crime. And in this case, you have possibly taking a vehicle without the owner's consent, which is a misdemeanor, plus the reckless driving, the pursuit charges. They're all misdemeanors. So does that outweigh the danger?
Ooh, now the driver's going into a gas station right there. You can see the Shell gas station on East 57th and Atlantic Boulevard. We can't see them, so they're being shielded by that the little canopy over there. So not exactly sure what's happening inside there. But again, we saw him get dangerously close to getting into a wreck a moment ago, Philip.
Now that's East 57th and Atlantic Boulevard. Okay, so he's pulling out again. I was going to ask Bruce if they would engage at that point if this person stopped and filled up gas and took off again. But we almost saw another one of those accidents. So Bruce, in the circumstance where this person were to get in an accident, we see him run through a stop sign right there because it's possible. Are officers going to swoop in fairly quickly? I mean, they're likely still monitoring this person's behavior, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And they are in the area under mutual aid.
News special report.
And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kira Phillips once again with a major update on that situation in West Bloomfield, Michigan. I want to get right to our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky, where we have confirmed that the man that rammed his vehicle into the synagogue there in West Bloomfield has been shot and killed. Authorities, Aaron, though, apparently saying it might have been a fire within the vehicle that took him down, or was it
driving? You saw him hit a couple of dips on the road, and it almost looked as if he was losing control of his car, Colleen.
Yeah, you know what? Again, Philip, I'm amazed. And I think, Bruce Thomas, I'm not sure if you're still there. But again, we don't know. You said it might be a possible stolen vehicle. We're seeing this suspect now pull up to a residence. We're not sure. And they're getting out of the car. We don't know if they're from this area. And there's a little dog that just ran out. So it's making me believe that this is his home because he just pet the dog's little head. So I'm not quite sure. Bruce Thomas, are you still joining us right now?
Yeah, I am, and I'm seeing what you're seeing, where he just pulled into that residence, and he's now going inside the residence. And
Must be
if it is a friendly residence, that creates another problem for law enforcement because now he can possibly barricade himself in our family member's home. Are they going to turn him over? Are they going to rationalize with him to give himself up? Those are
Somebody's
some of
just left
issues
the
they gotta
back.
deal with.
I don't know if that, I don't think that's the driver. Well, I don't know.
No, I'm saying somebody might have left the back door. But Bruce, we also saw him throw a canister of some sort out the window. Now, I can't remember. I don't remember if we actually saw that on the air, but during our monitor in here in the studio, it almost appeared as if he threw a canister. You remember, you were saying that you saw possibly some sort of usage of something, and it could have been huffing. He might have been doing something like that. We don't want to overly speculate, but we've seen that in chases before, and he did throw something out of the window. Now, the question is, he's in a home with a gate pulled. Yeah. Would officers now barricade this place, or are the charges not such that they would do that? Or how would you approach this at this point?
Yeah, Philip, that was a great observation. I saw the same thing you did. He pulls in, and now they've closed the gate behind him, which makes me believe that these are friendlies. So law enforcement may have to actually get a search warrant to go in and seize him and whatever evidence he threw on that property.
Yeah, I actually think it was an electric gate that opened up, and then because he ran in and then it was closing. There wasn't someone right behind him who was closing it. So again, it leads me to believe that this may be his property. But again, we don't know. That suspect did get out of the vehicle. Didn't we see him get out of the vehicle? Because then we saw somebody else behind the vehicle, behind the house.
And if he opened the gate and shut the gate, that would lead me to believe that it's not a stolen vehicle.
Right.
So he probably lives there, which would lead officers to know who lives there, which again, like Bruce is saying, means that you likely only have a failure to, you're back to square one, Bruce, where you've got failure to yield, you've got a litany of traffic violations, but again, at what level do they rise? Do you have a felony anywhere within this? I suppose, does the chase rise to a felony?
No, it's just a failure to yield, reckless driving. We didn't see any accidents or anybody get hurt because of his driving. So we have all misdemeanors, which means basically they may do a consent to see if they can come on the property, whoever owns it has title and stature to the property, and see if this person's inside. The other thing, too, is what good visual did they have of the suspect? We saw him wearing there's now roosters on the area, but we saw like a gray hoodie type thing. Did he change clothes? Has he changed his appearance?
Well, we do see police now showing up, so it does look as if this is going to be a situation that is going to be long playing, and we are going to probably have to wait and see on what the result of this will be.
Yeah. And stay with us. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in just a moment. Enforcement is surrounding the house. We do not know if that suspect is going to give himself up. But again,
it's a bit of a standoff. We'll follow it, have later editions of Eyewitness News to give you details. Right now, we need to go to Carly and get you an update on the weather.
From today to tomorrow, we're looking at temperatures in the mid-90s to even upper 90s out there for this afternoon. But right now, we are looking at temperatures at 88 in Ojai,